decades of journey of Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad. At the outset, I want to thank all the critics of Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad who are continuously saying that Chitrakala Parishad only crafts exhibitions happen, only saree exhibitions happen, and no quality standard exhibition happens in Chitrakala Parishad. 5th of April 2025 has given an answer to all those critics. At the outset, I thank them because they made us very active and they made us to accept these challenges, and we have accepted these challenges. 2025 onwards, Chitrakala Parishad will be quite different. Putting up a show of this scale was not easy. It was challenging. One is taking out time, about 2 months of time of our all galleries which were booked 8 to 10 months earlier, at least sometimes 1 year earlier. Taking out that 2 months was a challenge. Somehow we were able to convince all those artists who have booked these galleries and asked them to just postpone their shows for the sake of this legendary show. The second thing was collecting the works of KG Subramanyan. It was not so easy. Thanks to all those persons, especially Vijay, Shri, Nancy and other people who helped us timely. Seagull and they came to our help and they were happy to lend their works to us. The third thing, biggest challenge was mobilizing the resources for such a show of this scale. It was a huge challenge. Even our executive committee was not sure how to mobilize this much of amount to put up this show of this scale and to sustain this. And once we start a show of this scale, and if you don't continue every year, then that will be other bigger challenge. Then we decided that come what may, we'll accept this challenge and resource of mobilizers within our in-house finances only. Resources were mobilized, and whatever amount that we are spending on this show, we have no sponsors for this show, but it's all these resources developed in-house by the Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad. Then 2 months back we decided that, of course, Chitra Sante, there is lot of appreciation for Chitra Sante. Same amount of criticism for Chitra Sante also, that we have brought all the artists to the streets and we have made it a street show. But we are happy, but I have no regret for that. We have started it 22 years back, and I assure you that we are going to continue it in spite of criticisms and appreciations, and because we feel that art is for all. It is not for only for the people who are in 5-star standard. Art is for also for a common people. So it is a signature event and a program of Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad. As long as Chitrakala Parishad is here, it will continue to have Chitra Sante programs in the first Sunday of every year. I assure you that is going to happen. I also assure you that a show of this scale is going to happen every year 2025 onwards, whatever may be the financial constraints and challenges, and we are going to accept it and try to have a show of this scale every year. We are going to have this scale of show. Next year also we are already planning it. There are no dearth for philanthropies, but it is a fault of ours that we started late and there was a paucity of time, and that's why we couldn't approach many people. But we are planning for next year. Already we have started planning for next year's show of this scale. The other thing is then Bangalore is going to witness another show of Delhi Art Fair scale from this year onwards in the month of last week of May for 5 days. We want to have, and we are going to have Dhamma Art Bangalore show for 5 days, where only the invited artists of India are going to participate. It is also a unique show that is going to happen. There also there are many challenges, and there are many challenges of infrastructure and resources. That challenge also we have accepted, and we are going to do it also. And Chitrakala Parishad has decided to have 4 major events in the course of the year during Vijayadashmi or during that time. We want to have every year, I want to have a collectors exhibitions. There are many collectors in Bangalore who have works of many legendary artists with them. It has not been showcased for the public for a long time. We are seeking the help and suggestion of people like S.N. Agarwal Ji, who is our chairman of the Karnataka Chitrakala Parisath Trust, after S.M. Krishna, and with their help, sometime during this September, October, we want to have this collectors exhibitions also. So 3 to 4 major programs of Karnataka Chitrakala Parisath is going to be held every year, and whole image of Chitrakala Parisath is going to change from this year onwards. And also we have upgraded our galleries and our lighting system, everything, and we are also in a gradually we are trying to.
And I'm also thankful to Nancy for pulling off one of the most interesting curatorial ventures into the works of an artist whom I knew rather intimately. So if I have any 2 bits to add to this is that I knew Subramanyan from the day I joined Shantiniketan. He started his working life in Baroda and then he moved to Shantiniketan in 1980, where he studied. That was his alma mater. And I happened to join Shantiniketan in 1982. So when I met him first, he was only 2 years old in Shantiniketan as a teacher. But even then, the persona that he had was quite something. And we all knew that, and he wasn't a professor emeritus or anything like that, but he was published, his first book, The Moving Focus, was there. And then you hear him talk, and you hear him teach, you see him teach, which we saw from a distance for the first couple of years. We kept our distance, you know. It's not that he was a scary man or he had extreme humility. Anybody could go and approach him, and the more I got to know him, the more that side of his persona revealed itself. So we all know about what a polyglot he was in terms of every medium of painting that he touched. It's like King Midas, you know, whatever he touched, whether it is oil painting, whether it's gouache, whether it's tempera, whether it's brushwork, whether it is reverse painting. It started behind glass and then he moved to acrylic sheets, and whether they are very large-scale murals that he did with a very cheap material like sand casting, or even terracotta, then large-scale murals which were painted, children's books, toys, you name it, you know. But then there was other sides to him, and one is of course as a writer, as a thinker, as a philosopher of art, which Nancy referred to as a sort of cultural critic of his time, a very important one. He was also an art administrator, you know, and
I have a twofold task this evening. First, I'd like to thank everyone who made this exhibition possible. And secondly, I'd just like to give you a brief glimpse into my curatorial vision, and I'll expand on that tomorrow at 4 p.m. during the curatorial walkthrough. So first of all, I'd like to thank the poet and publisher Naveen Kishore, who invited me to curate the KG Subramanyan Centenary Show in Calcutta last year, as well as Richa Agarwal and Shmita Sahu of Imami Art Calcutta for supporting 100 years and counting Rescripting KG Subramanyan. The word rescripting in the title is instructive because this show will offer you new readings of KG's legacy. This is the second iteration of the KGS show, and I must thank the President, Dr. B.L. Shankar, the Secretary, Shashidhar Rao S.N., the Curator, Vijayshri C.S., where are you? Thank you. And of course, I'd like to thank Mr. B.L. Shankar and Shashidhar Rao to invite me to curate this show. I'm happy to say that the Bangalore edition of the KGS show is a larger iteration with an additional selection of works. This is
one of the greatest artists that our country has seen. I have some of his works with me too. And I'm especially thankful to Professor Pramit and Nancy to have helped our team of people here at the Bangalore Chitra Parishad, and especially Sashila Rao, Vijayashri, and all have done a great job in making it happen here. So I wish the show a great success. Thank you.
Vote of thanks, distinguished dignitaries on the stage, esteemed guests and art enthusiasts from the city. On behalf of Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad, it is my privilege to present this gratitude to all those who have contributed to the success of this event and the exhibition. First and foremost, I sincerely thank Nancy Adajania for curating this show for Chitrakala Parishad. Her intellectual prowess, her creative vision is for all of us to see and admire in the exhibition. But apart from that, I also want to mention that ever since she got on board for this project, she has dedicated a great amount of her time and energy to put this show for us. So I really appreciate the time and energy that you've given us.